Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Schwigget Show. Now, on today's episode, we're going to be doing a showcase on my latest build, and actually I'm going to be doing it a little bit differently today. Primarily because, well, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if this new structure is going to stay standing after I destroyed the infrastructure. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to give you a little bit of a sneak peek into everything that goes into one of my builds, especially the infrastructure on a more complicated build like this one. So let's go ahead and jump into it and let's take a look at what I got going on. Alright, so there you have it. That is a quick overview of my new build. As you can see, there's quite a bit of extra pillars and ceiling tiles just right there alone that I don't want staying. But nonetheless, this build, I kind of took two different ideas that I had in mind and combined them into one. Had a little bit of problems along the way that I had to just work around, and it kind of morphed into its own creation at this point. So, but I think it turned out fair, all in all. I'm pretty happy with it, the overall effect I was going for, which is kind of that whole, the building coming right out of the rock with a big natural ceiling for the roof. But nonetheless, we'll take a look at that a little bit more, a little bit later on. So let's go ahead, we'll jump up and take a look at the infrastructure, the rest of it, and what a mess that is. Definitely not something I want to keep. So it does look like it's all randomly placed, but all those pieces are very specifically placed to hold up one part or another of the building. Let's jump inside, and there is my main anchor point right there. And I wanted to keep everything like enclosed in the rock, so it took a little bit of trial and error to make sure nothing was sticking out. And I did it a little bit differently. I usually have my main anchor point attached to my house directly in some way or another. This one is just off to the side. So that was a new technique that I tried, and it worked out fine. And also having my infrastructure right there, the one we're looking at to the right, that's the beginning of the infrastructure. And I've never done it quite like that, where I extend it off and then extend up and then continue on. So I was kind of questioning how that was going to work out, but nonetheless, yeah, everything worked out great. The other thing I did that's a little bit different is that my infrastructure is really close to the actual structure itself, which caused a little concern, especially right there, those two main pillars sticking off the side where I had to extend the infrastructure. But I didn't want the game to register the infrastructure as being part of the structure itself, because then it would have all collapsed. So that caused a little bit of concern, especially right there, just how close it is. That's like two pillars away. But again, it worked. And that was something new. I've never had it not line up when I came back all the way around. A little bit of concern, but once again, everything worked out fine in the end. Right here, that is all part of the structure itself. All of that is necessary. One piece or another of the actual structure is attached to something that you're seeing there. um, but there are a couple of pieces that I left as stragglers, but just about every single piece there is necessary for this build to stay standing how it is. And these are those pillars I was talking about. I extended them out two more spaces because they were originally going right through that walkway around the outside. And I didn't want to, again, have it register as part of the structure itself. And that whole thing was a new idea because the rock above, I couldn't extend the infrastructure out. So I dropped it all the way to ground level and then continued the infrastructure on ground level. Again, something I've never done before. Either the infrastructure is all on ground level or was all up above. So, and there is the first boat I've ever built. Not necessarily proud of it. And for the record, I really, really dislike building boats. I don't think I'll ever build another one. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and let's destroy this infrastructure. So we'll start as normal, destroy the ceiling tile next to the anchor point, and leave that first ceiling tile, always leave that one. And I was very kind of apprehensive about this, so I would destroy one piece and check, make sure the house is still standing, destroy another piece, and mainly because if something were to fail, I wanted to know where it failed at. That way I wouldn't have the problem again in the future. But yeah, everything worked out fine. So I'm just going to, it took about half an hour to destroy all of the infrastructure actually. So I'm not going to make you sit there and watch it all. I'm just going to destroy a few more pieces at the beginning and then we'll jump to the end of it, okay? Alright, and here we are. We have destroyed the entire infrastructure except for that one lonely pillar right there. Everything's still standing, looking good, but this will be the last test. And bam! And we are golden. Yep, everything's looking good, everything's still standing, nothing changed. So yeah, I'm quite happy everything worked out. And again, all those things I point out to you, when you do your builds, now you know that you could use the same techniques and not have any problems. And doesn't look so much better. I mean, it just looks beautiful now. Well, more kind of beautiful. But nonetheless, so let's go ahead and just start the tour of the base. I think right now I'm just going to put on some music and we'll just take a nice little walk through the base. Alright, and there you have the house, and this is definitely one feature that I wanted, is a elevator that dropped right into a boat. That way I could just sail off into the sunset, you know? Nonetheless, so we're just gonna drop down to the boat real quick. I'll walk around it. Again, not very fond of it, but nonetheless. I actually came across a glitch with building on boats. It's rather quite interesting. It's rather quite useless, but maybe somebody could find some use out of it. So I'll be uploading a video here shortly, going over just how to make it work, and it's, if anything, it's entertaining. So definitely check in with the Schwigget Show here, and I will have that video uploaded. And I hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.